Hi, my name is Paula Deckers, and today I am here with Edmund Smith of Rose Lily Photography, and we are going to discuss with you today some tips on why it is important to hire a professional wedding photographer. But first, let me ask Edmund. Edmund, how long have you been in the wedding photography industry?
Well, I've been a professional wedding photographer now for about 8 years. I've been involved in photography probably about 24 years all told, but the majority of my background was doing portrait photography up to about 8 years ago, and then I got into wedding photography.
Okay, great. So, real long time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen a lot of different things change between, since the day you started and what's happening nowadays, but we'll discuss that later.
Okay, sounds good.
What is, in your opinion, what is the most important reason why a bride and a groom or a couple that is getting married today should hire a wedding photographer, a professional wedding photographer?
Well, I think if there's one single word to answer that question, for me, it would be trust. I think it's very, very important that, on your wedding day, you're going to have one opportunity to have these photographs created that are going to last you a lifetime. You want a photographer that you can trust to create a vision for your wedding day that will be artistic, that will be creative, that is going to speak to who you are, that will be individual to you. And you want to make sure that you have someone that you can rely on. You want to have a reliable, trustworthy person that you know is going to show up, do a great job, and in the end give you the wedding pictures that are going to last you a lifetime. So I think trust is a really, really important reason.
Trust. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you say when they give you, you don't have to worry about them showing up or something. I mean, what are some of the things that, a couple should look for when they're hiring somebody? I mean, what would be some warning signs perhaps maybe that photographer isn't going to be the right fit for them?
Right, I think it's two parts. So there's that issue too. There's the actual, the showing up, the professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also trusting the quality of the work. Because I think that's also part of trust, is the quality of the work. Look at the pictures. Can this photographer see light well? Do they compose their pictures well? Are their pictures creative and sharp and crisp? And do they look really true to life? I think those, when you talk about trust, it's sort of both the trusting that the photographs are going to be an excellent quality, and then also what you're talking about, which is just the kind of the professionalism of it. I think one way to find out about that is to ask, just to check out other professionals that might know the photographer and sort of ask around. And I encourage, when I'm meeting with brides and grooms, I tell them to do that. I'll say, hey, if you're going to a few wedding venues, ask them about Rose Lily Photography. See what they tell you.
Okay.
And they do that, and they always get back to me and say, you know what, we want to hire you for our wedding. The most of the time, I don't say always. Majority of the time, they'll get back to us and say, you know what, we talked to them, and they had a lot of positive stuff, and we're going to go ahead and hire you, go with you for our wedding.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea in the tip, and I think that is something that would serve the bride and groom or couples really well, because if you yourself are telling them, hey, go ask some other facilities that I've shot photography at, and get their opinion of my work, I think that's fantastic.
Or other event professionals like DJs,
exactly,
dress shop owners, those
ask
kinds
around.
of things. And we don't know everybody, so that's why I said that doesn't always work. If it's a venue that's not familiar with us, they can't say that. But the majority of venues now, since we've been doing this for so long, in Snohomish County and Skagit County, are familiar with Rose Lily Photography.
Yeah, well, having been around for 8 years,
we've gotten around.
You've made a name for yourself, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, a lot of times, because brides and grooms and couples have a small budget, I think they often think that, some of the things like photography and DJ and things like that can be hired out to family members.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell them, why that's not a good idea, I think that would help some couples realize, maybe we should prioritize our budget in this direction for our photographer. What would be your biggest tip on that?
Well, I certainly understand the reason for that. I mean, I understand that there's, only so many dollars can be put towards a wedding day, and you're looking to try and save as much money as possible. That makes sense. Not hiring a professional wedding photographer, you're taking some risk, assuming some risk with that. Now, your pictures might turn out okay, but there's the key word in that is might. And again, as I said a minute ago with the word trust, when you hire us, you're guaranteed to get a beautiful set of wedding photographs delivered on time as you had thought they would be.
Right.
When you go with a friend, or a family member, weddings can be very demanding. They can be very complicated.
It's stressful.
Things can change. Schedules can go out the window, and often do. So things can be very fluid, and a less experienced person who's not accustomed to regularly being in that kind of atmosphere can come a little bit unraveled can be a little bit shaken, and in the end, you will not wind up getting the quality of photographs that you wanted or had hoped to get. And remember, there's no second chance.
Right.
So that's it.
That prior.
Once,
this is once and
that's
done.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
you can't go back and do that day over again. So, you know, when you hire a professional wedding photographer, that concern should not be there.
Right.
Then there's also additional services that a professional wedding photographer can offer that we offer, such as you know, getting albums, having an online gallery, other services that a friend or family member might not be able to avail you. So,
Got you, right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think an important thing too is to remember that if they are a close friend or a family member, and you talk about things being stressful and schedules going out, you know, the window, etc. You know, why would you want to put your friend or family member in that position? You want
Right.
them to be a part of your day and to experience that joy with you and not be stressed out. And,
Right.
and also you certainly don't want to have any problems in the future with that relationship.
Right, and
So
that's true too, and I'd actually thought of that earlier.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain, we all have roles and we all have kind of relationships in life, and when you step out of that role with that person, it can get a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, when you hire a wedding professional, you know that's a professional that you're going to work with. You expect a certain level of professionalism from them, and you're interacting with them on that level.
Right.
But when you have a friend or a sister or brother or relative, you know them in a different way, and so
Yeah.
to then have to work with them as an event professional, as you just indicated, that can be kind of challenging and present some moments that might be a little stressful on your wedding day that you might want to avoid.
Yeah, well, and I think those are all fantastic tips, and I just so appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us about that. In our next
Right.
video with Edmund, we're going to discuss some new trends for 2015 and 2016 in photography, and also we're going to discuss some of the other items that he talked about, photo albums and specialty items that and services that professional wedding photographers provide. So catch us for video number 2 coming up.